Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Nick, and in today's video I want to talk about when is the right time to buy your crested gecko. Let's get into it. So let's hop right in. Let's talk about when is the right time to buy your crested gecko. So the first thing, the right time is once you have everything set up. So you're going to want to have your tank, you're going to want to have your foliage, you're going to want to have the food, you're going to know how to make the food. So it's kind of just the basic things up front of what you're going to need, and some branches of course so they can climb around. So that's the first thing you need when you buy your crested gecko. Now you're all set up, and now you're wondering when's the best time of year to buy your crested gecko. Well, in reality you can buy it any time of the year. Now it is important to know that the breeding season will start in about early February and will end late October. So you might, at some point, there might be kind of more crested geckos available maybe in the middle of the year, so maybe they'll be a little cheaper than they are at the beginning of the year because now you're getting last year's adults, and at the end of the year because now the babies from the beginning of the year are getting close to that adult stage. So maybe buy in the middle, you might get more, but for me, my babies hatch, they've been hatching the past 3 or 4 months anyway, so we have all age groups, so really any time of year is the best time to buy a gecko. Okay, so now let's talk about the size and the age in which you should buy your crested gecko. I always recommend buying a gecko that's 15 plus grams, okay? So what does that mean for age? Absolutely nothing. Some geckos are 15 grams at 3 months, some geckos are 15 grams at 8 months. It's just really kind of it depends a whole lot on how the egg was incubated and the genetics of the parents. So that's pretty much, age and size are not correlated. Now, I suggest buying a bigger gecko because you're gonna have a higher likelihood of keeping it alive since it's already well started. That's important to have. So if a lot of people want to buy small geckos, and I understand that because you want to buy the baby, but in all reality you should probably buy a 15 plus gram juvenile, and they will have a higher likelihood of survival, and they will still grow. You'll still see color changes over time, and you'll still see their morphs slowly start to express more and more, but you're getting a established gecko, which is very important if this is your first or your 30th gecko. So just remember that. Okay, so now let's talk about where you're gonna buy from. Do you buy from a breeder or do you buy from a store? Well, luckily I have a solution for you. It's called electrifyinggeckos.com. I am the owner of Electric Geckos. Go there, see our babies. No, I'm just kidding. You can buy from me if you'd like to, but you don't have to. I always recommend buying from a breeder. When you buy from breeders like me or someone, you know, someone who cares for their animals, you're gonna get an animal that is well taken care of. You know it's eating. I'm not gonna sell you anything that's not healthy. Something I wouldn't put my name behind anyway. And there's a lot of breeders out there like that. So I recommend buying from a breeder. Now there's nothing wrong with pet stores. If you want to buy from your local mom and pop pet store, I say support those guys too. Because they're kind of the start of the hobby. They're where the hobby begins. If someone didn't take that risk in starting a small business based around pets and a hobby, then none of us would really be here. So it's really important to support local business. Now when it comes to chain pet stores, I'm not going to tell you not to, because I know that sometimes it gets into that price point war where, you know, a local pet store might sell something for $60 and then I'm a breeder and I'm asking $250. So I understand not everybody wants that. I have geckos that are on the cheaper side if that's what you're looking for. So it's just something to remember, that there's always going to be a breeder that has something. Try to buy local before you buy from a chain. That's just my opinion on that. So like I said, buy local, support breeders, support your mom and pop pet stores. Stay away from the chains if at all possible. If you choose to buy from one of the chains, I'm not gonna hate you, you know, just it is what it is. Okay, so the last thing I want to touch on is morphs. So morphs are the reason that everybody gets into breeding anyway, right? You love a morph, you want to produce things that look like that, so on and so forth. So when it comes to morphs, it depends on what you're looking for, right? Everyone has their own personal taste. Like for me, I love Dalmatians and I love Harlequins. Some people hate Dalmatians, they don't like the spots, they want to have something with stripes on it. I get it. It's all personal preference. Now, there is such a thing as kind of a more common morph, right? Like you're gonna have your flames, those are more common. Not to say they're not pretty, but they're more common. Same thing with Harlequins. Harlequins are beautiful, but they're pretty common. So if you're looking to invest in a morph, you know, there's those higher end morphs like the lily whites, the xanthics, things like that. And not all Harlequins are created equal either. So just because your gecko is a Harlequin doesn't mean it's an extreme Harlequin, or doesn't even mean it's as pretty as a tricolor Harlequin. They all have different varying ranges, and that's kind of where on the blast point where the price point gets put in, is it's not it's not the fact of, oh, this gecko is worth this much, right? Well, it's how much is it worth to me for me to sell it to you is honestly what it boils down to. So in a good way, kind of going back on the buying the gecko itself, if you want to kind of price check something, go onto Morph Market and look what other geckos are selling for that are like that. So Morph Market's a great tool to look at different morphs, find what you like, because there's so much out there and you might be shocked to see what you actually like. So get out there, price compare, look around, and then buy. But morph is one of those things where if you're looking to just get a pet, you know, just an animal that you like to have, you love to look at, that's super pretty, then find a morph you like and go with it. If you're looking to breed crested geckos and you want to invest in all these projects, then go for that. I mean, either way, you're not going to go wrong. So when it comes to morph, definitely a personal preference, but find what you like, because whatever you like, that's what you're going to love to take care of, and that's what's most important, is taking care of the animal. Okay guys, well that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to leave a big thumbs up. Go ahead, comment down below if you guys, I mean, I'd love to talk to you guys about your opinions on this video. Let me know if you like videos like this. If you do, I'll make a bunch more. I have a ton of topics that I can talk about and just kind of give somewhat my opinion on, and maybe somewhat of advice as well. But until next time, stay safe and stay positive. Thanks for all your support. I really appreciate it.